Good morning. It's time for art. So you're going to need to get some art supplies ready. Get a sheet of paper, any kind of paper you have. Get a pencil. Get anything you have to color with. If you have crayons, colored pencils, markers, paint, whatever you want to use. Why don't you get those supplies together while I'm introducing myself. My name is Miss Wright. I'm going to be your art teacher this week, and then next Friday I'll be here again. So you're going to need the same supplies, so have those ready. All right, and today we're going to draw a robot using geometric shapes. So we're going to talk about geometric shapes first this morning. All right, geometric shapes are shapes that are flat. They're enclosed shapes that have two dimensions. They have a height and a width. They're flat. Okay, and there's lots of different geometric shapes. I bet you know the names of all of them because you've learned these. But we have, what's this? Square, circle, rectangle, and we're going to use this shape today. So if you know this shape, what is this one? A semicircle. Good. All right, so we're going to use these shapes to draw our robot, and we're going to look at different kinds of robots and talk about what kind of jobs and what robots can do. All right, so look at the shapes we see on this robot. All right, what shape did they use for the robot's head? All right, square. And what about the robot's body? A rectangle, good. Now you might also use rectangles for the arms, the legs. You might use semicircles for the robot's feet, his shoulders. And look at the shape of the eyes. Could you use circles for those? Or for the antennas or the buttons? All right, so we're going to use all these different geometric shapes for our robot. And we want to think about what our robot can do. This is Rosie, the robot made XB500. She can clean your house. She can do the dishes. So maybe your robot could do your homework. Maybe your robot could fly. I've had some students make cupcake maker robots. Think about what you want your robot to do while we're drawing it today. And then when you go to add all the buttons and all the different things on your robot, you can have those for whatever job your robot's doing. So the first thing we're going to do on our paper, right at the top, is draw a square. And I don't want it to be too small. Make it kind of big because we're going to add the eyes and the mouth in there. And maybe it's about at least 3 fingers. So I'm going to just draw a square. All right, draw a square for the robot's head. And leave a little room at the top for the robots. Maybe he has some buttons up there. Maybe he has some antennas. Leave a little room up there. All right. And let's look at some different shapes you can use for a robot's head. If you want to use a circle for your robot's head or a rectangle, you can use different geometric shapes. Look at this shape. All right, you can use those. Okay, thank you. All right. Now let's leave a little room and do our robot's body. I'm going to use a big rectangle. Don't make it too small, make it kind of big. So I'm going to leave a little room right here for the neck. I'm going to draw a nice big rectangle. Okay. And then down right at the bottom, we're going to draw the robot's feet. So do you want to do rectangles, maybe with some spikes on the bottom? Do you want to do semicircles or with some wheels on them? Maybe you want to do a circle, like a wheel at the bottom. Okay, if you want to do that, you can. I think I'm going to do some rectangle feet. So right at the bottom, leave a little room in case you want to add spikes or wheels or rockets. We're going to draw his feet. All right. Now we're going to add all the other parts, and you can use any shapes for these. We're going to add the arms, the legs. We're going to add the eyes, the mouth, the ears, all those parts. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to draw is the neck. All right, and then I'm going to draw the legs. Now, if you want, you can add a little part for the knee, you could add a circle, you could add a line, different parts for the robot's legs. All right, and we're going to add some lines in there in a minute so that he can bend his legs. Let's do the robot's arms. Do you want to add any shape for his shoulder? A circle, a triangle, a semicircle. I'm going to do a semicircle. Now we're going to draw his arms, and we don't want them to be too short. So make them really long, and they're going to come almost down to the bottom of his body. Look like this. 2 lines. All right. You can even have them bending. You could draw kind of a little zigzag right there. All right. Make it a little longer. All right. Now, what kind of hands do we want to put on? Little claw hands, little finger hands, little magnet hands. Ooh, you could put spikes on his arms. And then we'll add some lines to make him kind of bend. All right, let's see. I'll just do some little claw hands. All right, let's add some lines and some different designs on his arms for his elbows. All right, I'm just going to draw some straight lines. You could draw zigzag. And let's draw some lines on your robot's legs. I think that would be cool. All right. Now, I want to add something on his feet. Maybe some little little things that he can grip on the grass. So I'll do some zigzags. All right, let's draw some diagonal lines on here. Maybe some little nuts and bolts in there. All right, there. Now, I'm going to add some eyes on my robot. So what kind of eyes do you want to add? Do you want to add circle eyes? Do you want to add semicircle, rectangle? We're using some different geometric shapes for our robot's eyes. Let me do some circles on this robot. This robot has semicircle eyes, and this one has rectangle eyes. You can kind of decide what you want. Now, I want to add a mouth, and you can use an oval, you can use a rectangle. I think this is going to be an art teacher robot. So I'm going to add a little rectangle mouth and some little lips on it. And then let's add the ears. Do you want to put some antennas on the ears? Do you want to put some antennas on his head? You can decide. Let's put some little antennas on his ears. And maybe some little buttons on top of the head. All right, those are going to glow. All right, now, since I have an art teacher robot, I'm going to think about what kind of buttons I want on the body. Maybe I need something where you can go and get the paint brushes and the paints, and maybe a place that you can get your paper and all your art supplies. So in this little box, this is where it has all the pencils and the paint brushes in here. I'm not going to use any words, but I am going to draw pictures. So I want you to draw some pictures in here. So this might be my little pencil. All right. And my little brushes. So that's what you have to press on this box to get all these supplies. All right. I want to think about what else does my art teacher bot needs some paint. So whatever button you press is what color paint you're going to get out of this box. Okay. I need some different paper or some paint, maybe some canvas to paint on. So I'm going to have some more buttons. And maybe this semicircle will tell me how much paper I have left. So I'll know if I'm low and if I have to restock. All right, so just add some more buttons and boxes and different things for your robot to do. You could use ovals, semicircles. Oh, I like that one down there. It has a little box with a zigzag in it. Let's do a triangle because we haven't used one yet. This is a warning sign. All right, so add as many as you like. Think about what your robot does. I had one student do ocean cleaning robot. So if you have one of those, if you have a robot that delivers packages, if you have a robot that maybe does yard work, you might have to have different tools on there. All right, now I'm finished with my buttons and I'm finished with my robot, but I want to think about what to do with the space behind it. All right, let's go to the next slide. All right, you can color the background with lines if you want to. You can color the background with maybe it's outside helping out with the chores and the yard work. But also you can think about this. These are very special robots. They only have to charge their battery once a year. And so once a year when they charge their battery, they go to this planet, and this is where all the robots go. So draw this little curved line if you want your robot to go charge their battery. Draw this little curved line. This is the planet they go to. I'm going to add some little craters in here because that's the little planet. All right, what about some other planets up here? Maybe the Earth is over here. So you can see where you had to come from. And you could draw little rocket ships, anything you want in outer space. All right. You can draw, oh, I know what we need over here. A little planet with rings. Okay, so here's my robot in outer space. It's getting ready to charge its batteries up. And let's add some color. So I have some different art supplies. I have some crayons. You can use any kind of colors you want. But I also want to encourage you, if you want to add some texture to the space behind your robot, like this robot, you can go around the house and find something that feels rough or bumpy. Maybe this is a piece of cardboard. This is a nice texture. Let's try this one. So I can put this under my paper and add some texture. Color in the outer space like this. You can use any color. You can use purples, blues, whatever color you like. And I'll just move this around until I fill in all the space. You might find a wicker basket or a woven mat that you can rub to get texture. Maybe you can find some textures around your house like brick that you could rub. Maybe you can even use the bottom of your tennis shoe. That makes a good texture. That's really interesting. All right. You might even make your own texture plates. I'm going to show you how. I'm just going to keep moving this around until I color in all the space around my robot. And if you want to make your own texture plates, I just took a folder like this and I cut out some little shapes and I glued them on my folder. All right, I cut out some swirls because I thought that looked like outer space and some little circles. Let's try this color. And then you put that under your robot. Maybe for the planet, we could give it all these little circle textures. All right. Nice and neat. Try to do your best. All right. Now, I'm going to finish coloring in my robot. If you're in 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, maybe try to add some values to your robot. Instead of just coloring it in with one solid color, try to add light and dark. So I think I'll try that with this green crayon. Maybe I'll press down hard to get a darker color with my crayon, and then press a little bit lighter to get a lighter value. You can make your robot look a little more three-dimensional. He can look a little more realistic. All right? Now, you don't have to add values. That's your choice. But I might want to try it. See if we could do that. A little dark and then a little bit lighter. All right? See if you can try those values on his legs, on his body, on his head. Look at his little eyes. They have values on them, light and dark, where you just press down. All right, so let's try purple for his legs. I'm going to press down a little bit harder on this side and a little bit harder on this side. And then in the middle, just press a little bit lighter to get a lighter value. Like that. All right. All right, so we're going to finish up our robot, add color to him. Next week, we're going to use geometric shapes to make an organic shape. An organic shape is a shape from nature. So we're going to actually draw an animal using geometric shapes first. So next week, what I want you to do is find something like a cereal box or a cake box and cut out some triangles, cut out some squares, cut out some circles, and maybe find some other shapes around the house, lids, circles. You might could use those as well. And definitely have a sheet of paper and a pencil and any kind of thing you want to add color with next week, okay? So I'll see you guys next week. I had a lot of fun doing art with you today, and we'll see you guys next week.